So we went up to Cates Cove. They have what's called a primitive Baptist church. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, the new settlers was John Oliver and his wife. They actually built this church, okay? And when they built it, of course, they eventually passed away. Um, it's known legend that if you go in this church, you can see a woman's face in the wall, you can see apparitions in the windows, you can hear voices. I have never had that happen until spring break of this year. We went in there, and of course, they're like, "Can you take my picture?" Because it's got like a working piano, it's got Bibles in there, and it looks like a church.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, "Can you take my picture?" And I said, "Well, of course." I said, "Get up there, and I'll take your picture." Well, we get home that night, and of course, we're looking through the pictures, and there is a face of a man with a mustache in the window beside her. Now, all this is on
Oh.
TikTok and Facebook. Okay. So I start doing some digging because I'm like, what is this? Who is this man? Who is this with the mustache? It was John Oliver. And I put a picture of
Oh
John
wow.
Oliver and this apparition, but it's John Oliver.
They said the truth was buried deep in files they tried to burn. David's on the mic now, it's the people's turn. From shadow men in black to creatures in the mist, he's cracking open secrets that the government dismissed. Spooky lights above us, he's tracking every blink. Aliens, cryptids, yeah, he's making you think. With a journal full of clues and a wild-eyed hunch, he's talking ghost towns, lost time, Bigfoot's lunch. Old Dayvid don't know, but he's looking for the code on a long dark road where the weird ones go. Mics stay hot when the stories unfold, digging through the static for the truth untold. From pyramids on Mars to sounds in the night, he's chasing after whispers just beyond the light. Tinfoil hat, nah, it's a crown for the bold. Turn the dial up, these tales don't grow old.
Welcome back, everybody. It's David from Down the Rabbit Hole, and you're listening to Dayvid Don't Know. Today, I have a very special guest from the mountains of Tennessee, Knoxville to be exact. Her name is Rachael Speer, and she's got some stories for us. So I'm excited to introduce Rachael. Here she comes, everybody. Say hello to Rachael. Hey, Rachael.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for joining me. So, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually surviving the norovirus, but I'm here. I'm doing good.
Really?
Yeah.
The norovirus?
Literally was up all night throwing up. Yep.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. But you okay right now?
I'm good. I'm good. Look,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good.
It's not what's that? What's not the hantavirus, right? So that's good.
I know. Thank God. Right.
Right now in the news, I think I just saw today that, because in the news it was like a ship from somewhere else that had it, and I just saw today that an American cruise ship had it, and there were 17 people that contracted the virus, which is
There's a
sketchy
lot going on cruise ships.
I know. I've never been. I've
Neither.
always
And I
wanted
don't
to
think
go.
I want to go. I don't want to go.
I was planning on it, My buddy Ronnie LeBlanc, he's gonna do one. I think it's this summer. No, it's in October, so it's like a Halloween cruise.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, Ronnie's gonna be there. Go get on the cruise with him. Check out his page. He's got a discount for you, so it's pretty cool. Wish I could go, but now I don't want to go. It's cool. I pass.
I agree with you.
All right, Rachael. So you, we were just talking about this before you got on. You moved from West Tennessee, right?
I did.
To the mountains.
I did. What a dream come true, right?
There's a guy. His name is Dustin. I don't know if you know this guy, but he is on TikTok, and he lives around your area, I think, in the Appalachia somewhere. And he's always posting these weird videos about like he sees something or something's calling his name or there's like a weird person outside his house. It just every time he posts something, it's bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, I follow him. Yes, he does.
Yeah, okay.
He has a lot of good stuff on his TikToks and his socials. Yes.
What do you think? Do you think it's real? Do you think he's experiencing this stuff, or what are your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. I mean, you got
Yeah.
to think these mountains are, I mean, they're old. Oh, there's been Indians, and I mean, we don't even know what all's out there.
No,
It's a lot.
that is crazy. Yeah, I love his stuff. I've shared some of it on Down the Rabbit Hole. Um, he has a lot of fan page for some reason. People are like not cool with him, but I think he's great. I think what he puts out there is very entertaining, and
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
always with it. So tell me about the Appalachia. Please tell me what's going on over there. What's up?
Oh gosh. Well, starting off like the 1940s, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, they were known for UFOs. That's where some of the major UFO sightings came out was in Oak Ridge, Tennessee in the 1940s. Those that know Oak Ridge in East Tennessee, it has a nuclear uranium plant. So it's
Oh,
government ran, military, one way in, one way out, a lot of military stuff going on. And I mean, there was reports, like I said, as early as 1940s of
yeah.
spacecrafts flying over, radar detected. So you've got the UFOs, you have so much paranormal stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
between all the ancient cemeteries there in Cades Cove, and then Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, it's so much paranormal. And then you get into the actual like Great Smoky Mountains and you start
Hmm.
talking about that. You've got the Cherokee legend folklore. You've got, I mean, the moon people, the little people, Bigfoot, I mean, skinwalkers. It just goes on and on. And then you add in the missing people, gone without a trace. So
Oh
like there
wow.
is so much history here that's went on. And I mean, it ain't just started. I mean, this
Well,
has
let's
been
talk
going on for
about
years.
the 40s because that piqued my interest when you said the 40s, and
Yeah.
then you said nuclear research, right, or some sort of nuclear plant or something like
Yeah,
this.
it's a nuclear uranium plant, yes.
Okay, so in the 40s in New Mexico, they were testing nuclear stuff, right? And that's when Roswell happened, 1947,
Yep.
the crash. People say that maybe they were there, they were overseeing what's happening with the tests. And then you're saying here in the 40s, the same thing is going on near another nuclear site.
Yep.
They're very interested in that, I think. They're very
Yeah.
interested in what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you
Oh,
think?
no doubt.
And they're saying, I think interesting as far as Roswell is that I don't know exactly if they were testing on the day of, like it was in July where the crash happened. I wonder if it somehow caused the crash because they were saying that one of the things that disrupts their not only their communication, but it disrupts their crafts is us detonating this, causing some
Yeah.
sort of major rift in space time. And I wonder if that's what caused the crash in Roswell. Was there any like cases of anything like that in the 40s over there, like crash lands or
No,
anything like
it
that?
was mainly like radar detected. They would, fly over
Mhm.
the nuclear site, or like the nuclear plant. And I mean, and to this day, it's still reported. It don't get reported as much. I think people are more or less now scared to report it because I think they're scared of, oh, well, people ain't going to believe me. They're not going to take it serious. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's always something. I mean, we are probably 10 minutes from Oak Ridge, 10 to 15 minutes. And there are some nights I will go outside and I mean, I have it on my TikTok. I go
Hmm.
outside and I record it and it's not drones. It's like orbs, but it's like a
Uh-huh.
disco ball orb. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh.
Google will tell you, oh, it's a plasmoid, right? But
Mhm.
I don't believe that. I can't get behind that because it's literally in the direction of Oak Ridge.
Yeah. And does
So
it
it's
have you
like,
seen this or is this just a description?
I have it
Okay.
recorded, yes. And one night I took my little dog out and I said, you've got to come out here. I'm not crazy. Like, I know I sound crazy, but I'm not. Come out here and look. Literally on our back deck, pointed towards Oak Ridge, you could see it was like three little colorful, like disco balls just in the air, just right there, not moving, just levitating in the air.
Wow.
But
Wow.
Google wants to tell us it's like a plasmoid. I'm not getting behind that. I just don't. There's too much history of stuff like that getting reported from the 1940s, and now I'm still seeing it in 2026.
That's very interesting. And so you record this yourself, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
And is it
absolutely.
on
Yes,
your TikTok and your Facebook? Did you put it up
it
already?
is.
Okay,
Yes,
I
I
gotta go and
did.
check this out
Yeah,
because I just got sent something that you're describing from another
yeah,
guy. He sent me this, and I was looking at it. And what's funny is like he has an iPhone, and he's pointing it out, and it looked to me like at first I was like, okay, it looks like a star, right?
yeah.
And he focused in on the image on the it was like a dot. The closer he got, it looked like a colorful
Yes,
thing that was
yes,
spinning
yes,
or moving, but
yes,
it didn't look like what was weird is I thought it would be like a sphere, but it was like a weird shape, almost a
yes.
sphere, but
It's
not really.
like a disco ball. Which I've got an iPhone, I would always zoom in and I'm like, what is this on my phone? I'm like, what is this? I know y'all are seeing this too. Like, what
Yeah.
is this? Of course, people on TikTok, they're, oh my God, that's a UFO, and some people say a drone. And I'm like, yes, we do have drones. I mean, we do have drones here, but that's not a drone. Like that's definitely not a drone. And it's not an every night thing. It'll happen about twice a week.
Uh-huh. Twice a week? Wow.
But it's really regular. I mean, it's weird. It's definitely
Yeah.
something.
That is weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the videos from the government dump that came out the other day?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
catch your eye?
Well, I'll tell you the main thing that really caught my eye, and it really wasn't any of the spacecrafts. It was one of the documents that said, it was a humanoid feline alien creature that walked among us. And
Yeah.
I was like, in my thing, I'm thinking, Egyptians, Egyptians.
Yeah.
But everybody in
Yeah.
the comments was like, oh, this is fake. This is fake. I'm like, are y'all really that blinded? Like, look at the Egyptians,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I mean, as far as like the spacecrafts, I mean, I believe it. I believe it. Do I believe why they're now just releasing this stuff? I think it's somewhat a distraction, but I mean, this is nothing new. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't think
Nothing
it's
new.
I mean, if it's a distraction, I don't even believe in that term because let's say one particular thing has your interest. They can throw a ton of stuff, but if you're still like if you're a guy who can concentrate on something, you're not going to get distracted by what you're looking at.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So I don't
No.
really believe in that theory. Everyone loves to throw that around. Oh, it's just a distraction. I'm not distracted. Although I love the UFO stuff.
Yep.
And the one that caught my eye was the 8-point star looking one. Did you see that one?
Yes.
What
Yes.
the
Now,
heck
some
was
people,
that?
if you're religious and you look in the Bible, some people think it's like fallen angels, But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all about how you view it. I kind of view it as a distraction, and the reason why is because they leaked those files. And then you've
Yeah.
got this plague-like virus on cruise ships, and then
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got the Disney cruise ship issue with the children, and then this other cruise ship with Norby. I just said this too much. Like, they want you so focused in on this UFO stuff versus this cruise ship with this supposedly deadly rat virus, But people like
Yeah.
us that we know about UFOs, like we believe in it, we've seen it, we've talked to people that's, seen them. That's nothing new to them. Like, that's nothing new,
Right, right. The question is, I mean, to me, if you look at it like this, like I try to go to math whenever I can. I'm terrible at math, by the way, but
Me too.
if you think about all the stars, and here's a weird thing. I don't know if you knew this. We knew there are trillions of stars out there. More than that, there's got to be a ridiculous amount of stars in the universe, in the observable universe, not even beyond, right? And we didn't really know if they had planets like ours, like our solar system, but they do.
Right.
We found that out not too recently, that there are tons of planets. So if you think about one star system, add 2 planets.
Yeah.
I mean, some have a lot more, some have a lot less, whatever. But mathematically, it's impossible that we're alone in the universe. Mathematically, it does not add up.
Yeah. No, there's no way. Nobody
No
could
way.
ever sit down and tell me we're the only people here. Like, no.
No. We're not even the smartest creatures out here in the universe. We're not even close to that. And we're not the dumbest, that's for sure.
Right.
as far as I
No,
know.
I agree with that. I can definitely get behind that. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, it's a question of, are they here? Which I kind of think they are. I don't have any proof of that,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah,
they walk among us. I mean, if you think
yeah.
about the tall whites, for example, the Nordic looking aliens that
Yes,
look just like us, except blonde,
yes.
beautiful. Oh my God, Rachel, are you Nordic?
Oh, am I? Oh, am I? Am I trying to get information? No, just kidding. Well, it takes us back to, and I don't remember the year, but I know you remember in Miami Mall, those 10
Yeah,
foot alien like creatures.
yeah,
What did those people really see? Of course, it got swept under the rug, but it was there. People will
yeah.
say, well, there's no video proof. In a time like that, I'm just saying, if I was to see something, I'm getting out of Dodge. Like, I'm going to be freaked out. I'm not worrying about my phone,
Hmm.
So you can't go off of, well, why is it not recorded? Well, even if you did have recorded and you put it on Facebook, Facebook's going to probably like block it out anyway, you know?
Right,
So it's going to get censored out on your social medias.
exactly.
But what did they see? That was something that just got, like I said, swept under the rug.
There's a lot of videos that apparently made it out, and I've seen a few, and they kind of look like just shadow, like giant shadow figures, about 8.5 feet, maybe
Yeah.
9 feet. And there's a lot of theories about that. I have friends who are paranormal investigators. They're called 305 Paranormal,
Yeah.
Mondo and Jen, and I love them, and they're great. And they live in Miami.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Hey, what do you guys think?" And they're like, "Oh my God, don't YouTube." They're like, "No, it doesn't." Listen, guys, he's like, Mondo's telling me that you're gonna see. Miami has a huge police force. At the drop of anything, you see a ton of cops. It's not just one or two cops. It's like 20 cops for one thing. I was like, really? But these were 100 and something cops.
Yeah.
I mean, you have video of that at least.
Yeah.
It just seems ridiculous. So I was like, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe it's just something because there's no video or whatever. And then all this video started to slip out. And you know that 90% of the stuff that 80 to 85% maybe, it's not real. So some of these
Yeah.
videos have to be fake, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But not all of them. The thing that got me on this, Rach, was when they were talking about it in Congress. And there's a dude there talking about it saying that this is classified and that they actually named one of the people that was in the mall who had video. And they said that they called him up by name. I was like, oh, snap. And I looked him up, and sure enough, he's an actual dude. And they were saying that he has classified data. They had to confiscate it or whatever. I was like,
Oh,
well,
wow.
why would the Miami Mall incident be some sort of classified incident if it's not, you know what I mean? Unless this is another distraction, right? Another,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
oh,
Well, it's
man.
also like in the I don't know how much you've looked into like the released files, but they also admitted that there is Oriental people dressed in black. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, men in black, that walk
Yeah.
amongst us that are super intellectual that are here to retrieve data from like us humans, and I'm like, that's released.
Yeah.
And then they've got all these movies, like, I mean, there's movies that's basically tells you things right in front of you, but people don't want to understand it. People don't want to view it like that. But in my mind, I straight went to like Men in Black, and it just makes sense. Like it clicks. When you start going down these rabbit holes, I mean, stuff starts connecting dots. And then whenever the government like releases this stuff, you're like, see, I wasn't crazy. Like, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist like they say I am,
Right.
But
Yeah.
people still don't want to believe you.
The big one that's coming out soon, I think, is Disclosure Day. Have you heard of
Yeah.
that one?
I have not heard of that. No.
Okay. Steven Spielberg. Now, you remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind? That's an old Spielberg movie from the 70s.
Yeah.
And now he's doing this one. This one has, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to remember her name. Oh, anyway. So the main character is a news weather reporter.
Yeah.
And so they're filming it, and it's just like the trailer, so I'm not giving any spoilers away. She's trying to talk about the weather, and all of a sudden she starts to go into this. It seems like a convulsion at first, but then you realize it's a language she's speaking.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's like guttural, and it has a lot of like clicks and whatnot. And when you see it for the first time, it catches your attention because apparently the whole deal about what she's saying, a lot of people don't understand it. It sounds like gibberish, but then there are certain people that actually understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
And they don't know why, but they do. And so it just came out yesterday that they're saying that Steven Spielberg is actually releasing, it's like a soft release of the mantids language.
Oh,
when he's
wow.
doing this.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
really, dude? What the hell? Wouldn't that be cool if I were true? I would love that.
Yeah, that's
I would
neat.
love that.
Yeah.
I'll play a clip of it right here, so when it comes out, that people will see what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
oh man, I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, I think some movies have information in them, and it's almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're trying to test people with this information.
You have to decode things. You know, you've
Right.
got to be open-minded. It's right in front of you, but you got to decode it. You know, a movie that really opened my husband's eyes was when Artemis 2 went to the moon, or went around the moon. I said, you need to watch Interstellar. And I
Yeah.
said, that movie is like, you know, you're going to be like, what? And he was like, what? And I said, see, it's like with paranormal stuff. People will say, well, I can't see a spirit or a ghost. Well, that doesn't mean they're not there. They're probably in a different dimension, you know?
Yeah.
And that
Right.
movie right there, you had to really decode it. But my husband, it kind of woke him up a little bit with like, okay, so there is different dimensions. And I was like, well, yeah, you know,
Oh yeah.
obviously. But yeah,
Scientists say there are at least 11 up to 14, but
yeah.
I just, because I post on Down the Rabbit Hole, and if you're not following me on Down the Rabbit Hole, go and do it now. But I love to post like scientific stuff, like they discovered this, or they're
Yes.
trying to solve cancer and they figured this out, whatever. There was one where they said they were like studying light, and they were able to see that a beam of light has 45 dimensions inside of it,
That's awesome.
which is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
explain it to me, please. And I read it and I shared that because I thought it was fascinating. But yeah, dimensions. I mean, think about this. Like ghosts, they say, are in another dimension, a higher dimension, maybe.
Right.
And what if every higher dimension can actually see us, but we can't see them? And they're all right here, right now.
That's what I
in this
believe. I believe in
space.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's real. I kind of feel
Yeah.
like that's a thing. So what did your husband, what did it open up in his mind as far as dimensions, and what else?
Well, we had kind of like a Bigfoot encounter when we lived back home. We was hunting. And I mean, you know, that kind of freaked him out, and he kind of thought, okay, I just won't go back there again. And we never did.
Mhm.
And then we moved here. And then, of course, we went and toured the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, which, if you know, it is full of demonic, evil energy, like spirits. James Earl Ray was one of the inmates there.
Oh wow.
People, they know about James Earl Ray. He
This
was
is
there,
the man
but he
who
was-
shot Dr. King, right? That's the guy who shot him?
Yes. But it housed one, like the most bad people there ever was. You know, it was like the worst of the worst kind of cases there. And when we went there, we did a tour during the day. I'm telling you, between that and then he connected all of that with the whole interstellar and different dimensions, it clicked with him. I know it did, because he was like, when we went to Brushy Mountain that time, that door that we heard slam, that was, even though we didn't see nobody, that was probably in a different dimension. I'm like, well, yeah, you nailed it. Absolutely, But
So tell me about that Bigfoot encounter y'all had.
okay, so we lived in West Tennessee at the time, and my husband has always been a big hunter, deer hunting, turkey hunting. He loves it, lives and breathes it. Well, he begged me to go with him one morning, and so I said, okay, and we went out into like the swamp, because that's back home is mainly like swamp bottoms is what it is.
Uh-huh.
And so it was about 3 o'clock when we left, so it was of course dark. We go out there, and Jason's like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's just really quiet out here. And he's like, I've always hunted out here since I was a kid. And me being me, I was like, I don't hunt. I'm not a hunter. I don't like this. I want to go back home. Like, I want to go sit in the truck.
Yeah.
But, because, you just get this weird feeling of like, something's off. It's just like a gut intuition you just have. Well, we ended up going out to the blind, and it was so quiet. I mean, you could have heard a pin drop. There was no birds, there was no wind, it was nothing, just complete quiet. And Jason, he was like, he's like, last couple of days, I ain't really seen any deer on my trail camera. He's like, I hope we didn't waste our time coming out here. And I was like, well, maybe we'll just cut it short, So I'm still staying optimistic because I never had anything go on. Well, fast forward, we start hearing like branches break. And when I say branches, I'm talking about big branches, not twigs, not sticks, branches.
Big ass
And
branch.
I said,
Yeah.
and I told him, I said, did you hear that? He said, yeah. He said, don't worry, it's probably just something walking, something's out here, walking through the woods, whatever. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So still gut feelings like, no, something's not right. Well, we look out in front of us, I don't know, a little ways, and I said, Jason, he said, what is it? I said, look. And it was red glowing eyes in front of us. And because it was a good distance from us, but these eyes was like looking over a tree branch, right? And I was like, we got to go. So me and Jason, of course, we left. Well, Jason came back out there the next day, like the next morning around 8:00. He went back out there to that same spot where his blind was. He said, he called me. He said, you're never going to believe this. And I said, what? What did you see? Like a footprint? He said, that branch that we saw with those red glowing eyes above it, he said, it stands about 10 foot tall. He said, I'm literally looking above it. Like I'm looking up at it.
Oh.
And I said, no way, because it was so dark in the woods.
Yeah.
You really couldn't determine, like, okay, is it 5 foot, 4? Like you just saw in the distance, there's eyes, and like you could see something up underneath this, looking above this thing. And I told him, I was like, you're kidding me. He said, no. He said, I'll never hunt out here again. And that right there, that was a one and done. I never went anywhere else with him in the woods. No, still wouldn't do it. That right there opened my eyes to everything I've read, everything I've researched, everything my dad has told me. It's right here, literally 5 minutes from our house in little old Crockett County, Tennessee. But you do research on Bigfoot in Crockett County. One of the very first sightings in that area was right there.
Really?
Yeah.
That is crazy. And so I've heard often from a lot of Bigfoot experiencers that they see the red eyes, especially at night, the glowing red eyes. Sometimes it's orange and sometimes it's like, did you feel something when you saw them? Like, was there an emotional response to any of that?
Yeah, it was like your heart dropped to your stomach. Like, what? Because okay, it's not a deer. Deer don't have a red glowing eye. It's not a raccoon. It's not, a squirrel. And the eyes of this, I'm going to call it a Bigfoot. It wasn't like us. So like our eyes are somewhat kind of close together, like obviously a human face. The eyes on this thing that we saw, it was more wider. And the eyes were somewhat bigger than like a human's eye, but it was red glowing eyes. And I'm telling you, it was breaking these branches, and it was not like little twigs. It was like big as my husband's arm breaking these branches, and they were still there that next morning. Yes.
So I think it's a warning to let you know you're not welcome here.
No. And I respected that warning, and I never went back.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And so before this, your husband didn't believe in any of this stuff, you think?
No, because he's never had an encounter. I mean, he would hunt all the time. He never would have any encounter. But then that was like, okay. So it scared him enough. He did not go back out there. Yeah, he never hunted out there again.
I have a lot of respect for guys who, I'm a skeptic. I don't believe everything I hear. I try to use my mind and try to understand or research or try to figure something out. And for the longest time, I was not a believer in any of this stuff. And then I had an experience, and that just opened my mind because I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove anything. I couldn't disprove it. I couldn't debunk it or anything like that. So, yeah, it really opened my mind up to all this stuff. And every time I hear stories about it, my initial reaction before was like, yeah, right. But now I'm like, dude, I don't just mess with anybody. If they have a story to tell me, I'm here to listen to it, and I respect it. And it's like a big deal because most of the time these people don't share this stuff, because they're afraid of being ridiculed. or embarrassed or thought as crazy, and I don't think they are.
Well, my theory was, because obviously I put it on Facebook at the time, and I told my dad. I mean, I called him that morning and told him. And my thing is, people are always, like I said earlier, people are always, well, where's the picture? Okay, well, here's my theory behind this. Or they'll say, well, why has nobody shot and killed a Bigfoot? Okay, if it wasn't real and it did not exist, why is there Bigfoot laws? If you kill one, you'll go to prison. It's a felony
Oh,
charge. If it wasn't real, why would a Bigfoot have a law that you cannot physically kill or harm one if it wasn't real?
wait, there's really a law?
Yes, there's a law. Yes, yes.
Oh my
yes.
God, I didn't know that. That's
Yes.
ridiculous.
And that's why I'm like, if it wasn't real, why is national parks protected? Why does national parks protect these creatures? If you go into the national park and you was to shoot at a Bigfoot, you would end up in prison because it is a protected creature.
Wow.
So yes, it's real. Yes,
So
absolutely.
if the government is coming out and saying you can't do it because whatever, that says it's real.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God. See, I always wondered this, and I ask everyone I ever talk to about Bigfoot. It's 2026. We have all this technology. Why haven't we caught one? Why do you think we haven't caught one yet?
I mean, just because it's so protected. I mean, even if some, like I said, if you shoot one, you're going to go to prison. If you see one and it gets leaked, because you don't see any footage anymore. There was one picture of a Bigfoot years and years ago, like the original Bigfoot picture. And I don't know who it was taken by, but it was a Bigfoot picture, and it was years and years ago. That's like the only real picture that's even out there. It's almost like they don't want people to release this stuff because if you do, then I mean you're gonna get in trouble. I mean, it is a protected creature,
I would like to capture one, but not kill it. But I mean, you would need a team, and even then,
we keep
good
it
luck,
as a
right?
pet.
Yeah, I just want to see. I want to understand: is it a missing link? Is it from this planet? Like I just finished talking to Doctor. Oh my God, Dr. Rachael. I'm sorry, that's not right. Dr. Rebecca Foster.
Yeah.
And she seems to be very like. She's like, she has information. She seems to think, and I kind of agree with this because I was like, how are they getting away from us? Like in your encounter, if you had gotten closer to it, what would it have done? Other than hurt you. Let's just say it didn't want to hurt you. Would it have gone into another dimension?
Well,
Escaped.
there's a lot of cases. Like the one was here at Spence Field. It was at the Tennessee and North Carolina line, and people that know that area know that it is known for Bigfoot. And I don't know if you've heard. I know David Paulides had done a segment on Dennis Martin, the 6-year-old that went missing 411. He was on there, gone without a trace. Well, it was June the 14th of like 1969. Him and his dad, they all went on a hiking trip it was technically Cades Cove, but it was called Spence Field. It was more on the eastern portion where Tennessee and North Carolina meet. And it was in an open field, no trees, open field. This little 6-year-old boy was going to play hide and seek with his cousins. He goes and hides behind a bush, and he's gone without a trace, right? Wow, okay. Yeah. So, of course, National Guard, all these people come and look for this boy for like 2 weeks solid. No, nothing. No footprint, no nothing. Well, fast forward, there was a hiker going through pretty much Spence Field as well, and he came out and told people, I want to say it was a big, hairy man that had a little boy in a red shirt over his shoulder. Ooh. Okay, well, that's a Bigfoot to me. Yeah. And so that's what it was. That's what happened is they said that he was kidnapped by a Bigfoot, but it was 1969. The technology was not like it is now. People didn't, they didn't have all the technology like we do. And they just claimed it off as well. He got attacked by a Bigfoot, and that was it. That's all you heard about it.
Yeah. I wonder if that kid is like, they never found him again, right?
No, they never found him. He was 6 years old. And when we moved here, I was so intrigued by that story. I would watch it. I would listen to podcasts on it. I was so intrigued because we've been there a million times ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it really hits home because it's not far from where we live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 That's crazy. So, like, one of the theories that is out there, I kind of like it, is that they can go into a portal
Yes.
into another dimension, which makes sense because I mean, we could catch anything these days. We have so much technology that we can get anywhere, we can see anything,
Yes.
satellite, drones, night vision. We have everything you need to find one of these things. So the only
Yes.
logical explanation is they go into some place we can't.
Yes. Absolutely.
And one of the theories is that not only can they go into another dimension to escape, they actually go into another dimension to another place, like another planet.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
I was like, Dr. Foster was telling me about, like, we were talking about this. Blew my mind, man, because what if? That explains
No,
so
I
much.
do believe in these national parks that there are portals. I've always said that. I have always said that. Because it doesn't I think they said it was like 2,500 people a year that go missing in these national parks and they're just
Yeah,
gone without a trace. Well, that's a little too frequent to me. I mean, there's no
right.
closure to families. There's no reason. They're just gone and you can't find them. You don't see footprints. So that tells me, okay, well, a portal.
Yep. And it's weird because you can never know exactly how some of these people disappeared. But I always imagine it's like, okay, so many percentages to murders, right? From
Yeah.
us or from people. So many percentages Bigfoot, and then a whole other percentage of alien abductions where they just don't come back. They just take them,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's fascinating. I think that's it's one of my favorite subjects. I think I'm going to write a book about it. All right. So the next thing I wanted to ask you about, you were talking about a place that has like demonic activity or hauntings and stuff.
Brushy. Yep. Brushy Mountains.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, because we have heard about it, and I was honestly kind of scared to go because you watch TikToks and they're like, yeah, this is like people travel from all over to go to Brushy Mountain. They even have a like an overnight ghost tour hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually went, and as soon as we pull in, you could just, of course, I've watched paranormal shows, and they're like always take pictures, just snap pictures, and you can go back and look through them. I did that.
Yeah.
But when you first pull into this prison, it is so creepy. It almost looks like an old castle. Like it's really, really creepy. It
Mm.
gives off like a bad vibe. It's also in the shape of an upside down cross.
Oh,
The
what?
warden wanted it to be an upside down cross because it was basically the end of the line. You're not going out. Like you're not leaving this place. It's dead end for you. It's pretty much the message,
Wow.
right? So we go and we're just walking, and now all this whole prison, it's constantly, you turn around, it's got these big billboards saying it's known for paranormal activity, enter at your own risk, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is for real, like this is real. And so we're going in there, and it's just like you get this heavy, dark, almost like something's watching you kind of thing. And when we went in there, of course, I'm taking pictures, and it's just like you kept seeing orbs, on the camera. You kept seeing
Uh-huh.
orbs, and of course, kept taking pictures. And anyway, we walked in one of these cell blocks because it was like an off to its own self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we
Mm-hmm.
go in this like cell block, and this is where they would have like their outside rec. They would go, they were housed 23 hours of the day. They'd go out to this cage area for 1 hour of the day. So it was like the meanest of the meanest, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're walking in there, and all of a sudden, we hear like one of those big prison doors just slam. And I
Ooh.
looked at him. I said, "Did you hear that?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, it's probably the wind." I said, "Do you not realize all these doors are like chained to the wall? You can't open it. You can't close it. They're like barricaded open."
Oh man.
And they've also got these big rock stones like at the bottom of them where like you can't open or close these doors. Like they're always open. And like so, but before we went, I was looking into it, and they did say you'll hear screams, you'll hear noises, you'll hear door shuts. Okay. So we heard that, and that kind of threw me and him off guard because I was like, oh my God, like we ain't been here 10 minutes and like we're hearing this stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, then we go down to this place called the Hole. Now, when I tell you this place was full of evil, I mean what I say. This was like a little bitty, like no windowed cell, and there was no light. Some of the inmates that were actually put in the hole, they would go blind after 2 days because there was no sunlight. Like they were just, it would mess with them physically, mentally, it would mess with them, and these people would go blind.
Wow.
They would put, and when I say little, I mean it was probably like a small bathroom, like public bathroom, like
Mhm.
so like a stall, like a family room stall. Okay, think of it like a family room stall.
Uh-huh.
They would throw these inmates in there, and it would be like 25 to 30 inmates in this little bitty area. They would give them one bucket to eat in and one bucket to use the bathroom in. There was
Wow.
no light. They would feed them boiled cabbage, boiled just garbage. So you could already imagine it's dark. They're eating and drinking stuff they shouldn't be, literally torturing these inmates,
Yeah.
just terribly torturing them. So we go in this hole and we just start hearing like this laughing. And I said, Jason, did you hear that? He said, yeah. He said, I did. And I said, you don't think it's a kid, do you? And he's like, no. He's like, we need to get up out of here. Like it was so dark, so just creepy. And then we went into like the cafeteria part of this prison. And of course, there's no plates. There's nothing in this prison. And it's so dark behind like the cafeteria part, like the line part. And anyway, we get up there and I'm taking pictures. I start hearing stuff breaking. And I said, are we kidding right
What the
now?
hell?
Like they were not joking when they said you were going to hear stuff. But
Hmm.
we were there probably 3 hours. I took lots of pictures. When we got home, you would be floored at the pictures that I got. I actually put them on like a TikTok video. I put them on a paranormal page because I just wanted like a second opinion, I guess. I wanted like that closure of, yeah, you're seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah.
But there was so many shadow figures, and at the time, my husband, he was like, "Oh, well, that's from this bunk bed," and I said, "Well, that's not a glass mirror, so it's a whole body. Like it's got the head, the shoulders, the neck, like it's a shadow figure." And we would see shadow figures, lots of orbs. Of course, we heard the noises, and then we would also see like apparitions of people, and it was
Mm.
really, really weird. Like it was really weird. Like it was this door facing, and it looked, when you're walking through this area, you're not paying attention. But when you take pictures, you go back and you're like, that's a face. Like that is a face. And it just really hit home to me because I was like, I was literally standing in front of this cell and I looked like in the picture behind me, and it's this demonic looking figure. And I swear to you, it had like horns on its head. Okay.
Ooh.
And I have it. I have it. And I have it. Like I said, I put it on Facebook and TikTok. And and then I look on there, other people they're seeing the same things. It's the same
So
things they're hearing and seeing.
they saw the same horn
Yes.
guy?
Yes,
What?
yes, yes. When I tell you it's demonic, and then like when you pull into the prison, oh my gosh, I was so freaked out after going back and looking through this stuff. I said, oh my God, I said, there's somebody right there in this window. It was really, really creepy. I have not been
Huh.
back. Like, I have not been back.
Wow. That's interesting. So I can
Yeah.
go to your page and find that stuff, huh?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Sweet. I'm
Yes,
gonna go and look at that.
yes. Yeah.
That sounds very crazy. You know
Well,
what's weird to me? No, go ahead.
we plan on going this summer because we went in January, so it was really cold. So we actually plan to go back like this summer. I'm actually planning it for my birthday weekend to go and do the 8 hour overnight tour there at Brushy.
Ooh,
Yeah, I really want to do that. Like that's
that's
something we're
cool.
we're planning. Yeah,
That's great. I
yeah,
would definitely do that.
yeah.
You know what strikes me as odd is that I'm thinking of another. I had a story from a guy. He's where he was the security, right? And one night, uh, a really pissed off paramedic went up to where he was at, and he's like, "Hey man, I need your help. I need your help." and he's really adamant that he's got to get someone to move a truck that's in his way. He needs to put his paramedic somewhere. And so the security guy said, "Hey man, I can't help you. I can't leave this spot. You have to find somebody else." And the guy was like, "Ugh," he was just really upset. And then he walked down the hall, and I guess he figured he was never going to see him again. But 10 minutes later, he came back. He goes, "Hey, everything's cool. This nurse in red scrubs is going to help. It's really awesome. Don't worry about it. Thank you for your help anyway," or whatever. And takes off. And so he's like puzzled because no one wears red scrubs in that hospital, right? And so the manager gets there, his manager, he gets there and he's like, "Hey man, this guy was saying that he talked to somebody in red scrubs." And the manager tells him, "Hey, this is a blue scrubs hospital. There's no one in red scrubs." So whoever he was talking to was full of it. Well, he says, "Let's pull up the camera. Let's take a look. See this red scrub person." So they pull the camera up and they see the paramedic walking down the hall angrily, stops for no reason and starts talking to nobody. And he's like having this, and then you see him like he's animated, right? He's like, but then he starts to calm down and he's doing like, "Okay, thank you," hugs nobody, and then walks back to the security. So he didn't talk to any, there was no one there. So what the hell was that? And why is it?
There was a spirit that he saw. And I don't believe everybody can see spirits. I mean, you've got to be kind of awakened.
Mhm.
I do I mean, that sounds logical to me. I mean, that sounds like he was really connected with the spirit there.
What's crazy to me though, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the camera didn't capture the person, right?
Yeah.
And then today I posted a video earlier today of a guy claiming his home, there was something going on. He didn't understand it. He felt it was paranormal in nature. Yeah. So he put cameras in his house.
Yep.
And he captured something in like, it's like towards the staircase.
Yep.
And there's a hallway one way and there's like, I don't know what over here, but in the staircase, you can see it looks like a preteen person standing on the staircase, but it's a shadow figure of a preteen.
Yeah.
Almost like a black mist.
Yeah. Well, there is shadow figures, almost like lost souls. They're just kind of trapped, they can't go anywhere. But back to the guy, because you said there was nothing on camera of this spirit or ghost.
Right.
I mean, spirits and ghosts, because I don't even like calling them ghosts. I call them spirits. Like spirits, they can manipulate energy. They can manipulate your phones. They can manipulate TVs and batteries and light bulbs and flickering light. They can manipulate things. So just because it's not on there doesn't mean what he saw or what he was talking to wasn't there. It could have just manipulated the security camera or something.
It's just amazing that, and I've posted so many videos like this. Sometimes it's security guards. One time it was a welder that it was at night. He was working and the guy who was supposed to be there apparently wasn't or whatever. Then he sees the guy and he's talking to the guy, shake his hand and everything. There's no one there on camera. Yeah. And it turns out the man, but he did work there, the person he's talking to, turns out that man died hours before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I guess he was saying goodbye to his friend in a way, but he was just seeing him. Hey, how you doing? Shakes his hand. I thought you were not supposed to be here tonight, whatever. And the camera, they show this dude the camera and he's like, he couldn't believe it because he saw that dude there. Wow. And then he's being told that his friend passed away. So very weird, man. I don't know why it doesn't show up on cameras, but to certain people, like, I think it's like, have you ever heard those stories where someone passes away and they show up to someone they really care about?
Yes. Yes.
And you can see them and then they're gone.
Yes. Yes.
I had a story like that. Someone told me a story exactly like that. And it was, that she knew that her friend was going to die. When she saw her, she was waking up and she saw her sitting in the bed looking at her, smiling. And she was like, because this poor girl had cancer. She was dying of cancer.
Yeah.
And when she saw her, she looked healthy, like normal.
Yeah.
And she goes, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" And she was going to hug her. When she turned away and looked back, she was gone.
See, I had a similar experience like that with my grandmother after she passed away. It was like she came to me in a spirit form, which she was like my mama. And, she was very, very close to me. And it was hard. But it was like a week after she had her funeral, and she actually came to me in my, I want to say like a dream or the astral realm, some different realm, because I was asleep. And she came to me as if she was always healthy and looked the same. And she just came to me and she told me, she said, "You're going to be okay." She said, "I'm
Wow.
okay." She said, "And I'm always with you." And I have took that. That's been 5 years. And I believe spirit. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That is cool. That was nice. How did you feel? Did it give you like a
It
closure, or
did.
did
It
you?
made me feel like because I was so depressed. I mean, it got
Mhm.
really, really bad. And after that, I was like, she's always with me. And now when I go outside and I find like a feather on the ground, I'm like, oh, well, that's her. Or I see a butterfly and I'm like, oh, well, she's here with me. So, but I do believe in that stuff. Yes, absolutely.
I'll tell you something that I don't think I've ever mentioned on here. My dog passed away almost 2 years. In September, it'll be 2 years, and
No.
we were super close.
Yeah.
It was devastating to me. On the day she passed, I remember that morning. We had to put her down, so I was in the room with her, holding her
Mhm.
paw, and later that day, I remember I was a courier at the time, so I just went right into work. I figured that's the best thing to do is just get your mind off of it. So I go
Yeah.
to this place to go and drop off some stuff. And as I'm coming back out, I saw something I had never seen before in my life. I saw two butterflies, one on top of
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah.
And I was in shock. I actually I recorded it because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'd never seen anything
Yeah.
like that. And I said, "Charlie, is that you? Is that you?" And they both, when I said that, they both jumped up and flew together in this weird little pattern and then disappeared into a bush. And I was like, "What? Is that her?" I didn't. I
Yeah.
was just hoping in my
You'll be
heart.
surprised. People think animals are not like they're like soulless or like they
Oh,
can't be
I
in
hate
spirit
that.
form. Dogs, animals, they are your biggest spirit guides or your
Yeah,
guardian angels. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. I was like, you know, closer to her than most people in my life. It's
Yeah.
funny to say, but she was my
Man's best
kid.
friend, man's
Yeah,
best friend.
she was my kid. I know that when it's my time to go, it's going to be her I see. That's going to come
Yeah.
up and say,
Yeah.
"Okay, it's time."
She's gonna come running. Yes,
I
running.
know when
Yeah.
I see her, it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing that your grandmother showed up. She
Oh
knew you
yeah.
needed that. She knew you needed that. That's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of people that tell me, especially hospice nurses,
Yes. Yes.
that they know when their patients are about to expire is
Yes.
because they're talking to family members that have passed
Yes.
that are
Yes.
there. Yeah, so interesting. And they'll
Yes.
call the patient's family and say, "You need to get over here," because as soon as that
Yes.
happens, they know it's going to come in a day or less than a day. Sometimes
Yes.
it's so
I
interesting.
witnessed that firsthand because I lived with my great grandparents for the longest when I was little.
Mhm.
And my great granddaddy, he was really, really bad off sick. He was 96 years old at the time, but he
Wow.
was really bad sick and he was in hospice at home. And of course, I was there with him when he passed away. And he kept reaching up, like the night before he passed, he kept reaching up. And I said, "Papa, what do you see?" And I said, "Do you see angels?" He said, "That's my mama." And I said, "Oh my gosh, like I believe in that. Yes, they come
Mm.
to you. They come to you for comfort. They come to basically take your hand." Yes. And I believe when you get in that state of maybe it's a tragedy where you're like off in ICU or you're about to pass away, whatever traumatic you're going through, I feel like the veil gets so thin, like they see these people that's passed, these other spirits. So I do believe in that.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a pleasant thing. I hope it was a pleasant thing for him to see his
Yeah.
mom. And he
Yeah.
was how old? 90 what?
He was 96. And he never, I won't
96.
brag on Papa. He did not take any medicine, nothing, never did. No, like no, healthy as a
Wow.
horse. And then he just really got down. And when he got down really bad. But he told me, he said, "I see angels. I see angels. They're here. They're in the living room." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm sitting here with you, like they're seeing me, but I was
Yeah.
little. I was like 15 at the time.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he
That's
believed
great.
in that stuff too.
So do you think you'll live a long life? Because it sounds like you're.
I hope so. I've got 4 kids, so I got
Ooh,
to.
wow! Congratulations, 4 kids. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
I never would have guessed you had any kids. Oh
Yep.
my God,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
wonderful.
Yep. Thank you.
So, what else do you got? You got any other Appalachia type?
Well, it kind of goes in with like the spirits. I always like to share the story because people that come to the Great Smoky Mountains, they always go to Cades Cove. I don't
Uh,
know if you've heard of Cades Cove, but it's
mm,
very, very known for like paranormal. It's got a lot of Cherokee folklore. But one encounter was actually a recent encounter. We go to Cades Cove like all the time on the weekends. And we had actually went, my stepdaughter was up here and she was like, "Can I go? I want to go to Cates Cove." So we went up to Cates Cove. They have what's called a primitive Baptist church. And at the
mhm.
time, the new settlers was John Oliver and his wife. They actually built this church, okay? And when they built it, of course, they eventually passed away. Well, long story short, um, it's known legend that if you go in this church, you can see a woman's face in the wall, you can see apparitions in the windows, you can hear voices. I have never had that happen until spring break of this year. I was in there with I call her my daughter, my stepdaughter, and my little girl. We went in there, and of course, they're like, "Can you take my picture?" Because it's got like a working piano, it's got a Bibles in there, and it looks like a church.
Mhm.
And so they're like, "Can you take my picture?" And I said, "Well, of course." I said, "Get up there, and I'll take your picture." Well, we get home that night, and of course, we're looking through the pictures, and there is a face of a man with a mustache in the window beside her. Now, all this is on
Oh,
TikTok and Facebook. Okay. So I start doing some digging because I'm like, what is this? Who is this man? Who is this with the mustache? It was John Oliver. And I put a picture of
oh
John
wow.
Oliver and this apparition, but it's John Oliver. So you talk about freaked out. My stepdaughter, she's 11. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that was behind me." And I said, "Well, you wouldn't have even noticed it." But that happened. It was very recent. Like I said, it was spring break,
That is
and I
cool.
made videos of that. But yeah, it's a lot of hauntings there. A lot of stuff goes on at Cades Cove, a lot of paranormal. But that right there really hit home because the apparition matched John Oliver's picture,
That's
and all
crazy.
this folklore that people talk about of, oh, well, you could see this. It was true because we saw it, We
And
made
you got a
videos of
picture
it.
of it.
Yes,
Holy moly,
yes.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is great.
yeah.
And what about John Oliver? Was there anything interesting about him other than he created that church or built that
He
church?
was just one of the very first settlers that there at Cades Cove. He was more on the wealthy side. When he was there, he was more wealthy.
Mhm.
And then another place there at Cades Cove, which it was also there spring break. We love to go to the Wilcox Cemetery. Now, there's
Mhm.
14 cemeteries total at Cades Cove. Only 7 have been found. And all
Oh,
these cemeteries are like little family cemeteries. Well, the Wilcox one in particular, I'm so drawn to because one of them, Amanda Wilcox, she was 9 years old and when she passed, and I think it was like smallpox and tuberculosis is what killed them.
mhm.
But every so often, when you walk through this cemetery, of course you see the black crows, and then you also will see somebody goes around to her grave particularly, and they'll put out a little bitty black bear stuffed animal. And it's
Oh,
so sweet, and I always take pictures of her grave. I am so drawn to her. But when we went, I was actually like leaned down taking pictures, like me and her grave and the little bear. And we got home that same night, and I looked, and like on the other graves behind me, you can see faces. And I'm like, I've never had that happen. Like, I even went back to other pictures, like from fall break or just a weekend trip, and I'm like, I've never had that happen. But there was actual faces, and that's all documented too. I
wow.
actually shared that on like a Cades Cove, group on Facebook. But that was something that was like, but it didn't freak me out. It was just,
Yeah,
oh well, I know I'm not alone here. But it was still very paranormal to me.
that would freak me out. That would freak me out. I
No,
think
no.
I would be like, "What in the hell? Gots to go. See you guys."
It was just, I don't know, it's different. Like I said, living here and going to these places that's known for this stuff, you'll see it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're going to see it. It's just when will you see it, you know?
Right, right. I now I want to go to Tennessee and check this stuff out. That sounds
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
I want to go see John Oliver.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, because it's very puzzling because we don't know this. It's why it's the unexplained, and it's like we don't know that. Like I kind of believe that there's a source when we die, we go to this source.
Yes.
And I actually do believe in reincarnation. I think that's a real
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
I think that we're put on this earth to like learn certain things to like upgrade ourselves or souls or spirits or whatever. But
Yes.
what bothers me, and you had mentioned this when I brought up that shadow figure, there are some that are stuck here,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And they're not able to get to source.
Right.
And
And sometimes I can't accept the fact that they're gone.
Okay. That makes sense.
They don't
And
want to
is there a way to help those souls
No.
like go on to like the next step, or are they just stuck here forever?
I've only had one encounter with a shadow. I guess it could be two. The one at Brushy, but the one I was actually at my great grandparents' house, and it freaks me out to this day. Like shadow figures just freak me out. Of course, it got blown off of, oh, well, it was just a dream. But I kid you not, me and my nanny slept in this room, and she never wanted us to sleep in there. And they lived out in the middle of nowhere in a little country house they actually built. And I pitched a fit like all kids do, want to do something that you shouldn't. And anyway, Nanny was like, fine, we can do this. But, well, about 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up screaming, crying in a cold sweat because all these shadow figures and Hat Man was standing over me. And I swear to God, I could
Ooh.
draw a picture as to what was over me in that bed. And when I told my nanny about it, she said, we're not ever sleeping in here again. She said, I tried to tell you. She said, don't ever ask sleeping there again. And I never did. But I swear, back then, with me being little, I thought I was crazy. I thought, oh, it's just a nightmare. But then as I've gotten older, I'm like, no, what I saw was legit. It's shadow people. They're here. They are here.
Ooh, I think that's the one thing I don't want to see. Like, I really want to see a ghost for sure.
Yeah.
That's a bucket list item. I do
Yeah.
want to see that. But have you ever seen those shadow figures that are so like dark that
Yes.
they look like a
Yes.
whole other black? Like it's
Yes.
spooky, man. I don't want to
Yes.
see those. I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're outside.
I am out here looking for a UFO. No, I'm just kidding.
That is cool. All right. Well, I want to thank you for spending some time with me. I really had a great time talking to you. But now it's time for something I like to call the 6 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. This is the 6 questions. Rachael Speer. All right. Let's see. Okay, here's a question that is actually on Down the Rabbit Hole on Instagram. You can go to my page, and then there's a channel in there where you can actually get in the channel, and you can I put up polls and whatnot, and I thought this would be a good question to ask you.
Okay.
Do you think, this is question number 1, do you think you'll hold on to your personality after death, or do you think your soul has always had it?
No, I think my personality will be better after death. I think I'll be more awakened, more enlightened. Yeah.
Yeah, the soul has to have like more, right? It's got to have.
Yeah.
We can only do so much in this meat suit. I think
Yeah.
they have, like, I've read this book that it was a certified hypnotist discovered that he can actually ask people questions about their past lives.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting to learn that your soul has a name.
Yeah.
I don't know what my soul's name is. I wish I did. That would be so cool
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's question number 1. Question number 2, you get to ask the creator one question about anything. What would it be?
Okay. How did we get here? How did we get here? I've got my theories, but if I could ask the universe or source itself, why, and how are we here?
Excellent. That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I would love to hear that answer because I mean, a lot of people think we're not really from here, this
Yeah.
planet, and we were brought
Almost
here.
like a parallel universe type thing. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like, when we dream, do we go to this parallel universe? Deja vu. Has it happened in a different parallel? That it's a
Right.
lot of questions and nobody can explain those. Science can't
Exactly.
even explain it. So I would love to know
There's
that. I would love to know why and how did we get here?
excellent question. I like that. Question number 3. How do you want to die? How do you want to die?
Um, Ideally, I would probably prefer to die in my sleep. Just go off into an abyss of dreams and just, yeah,
I love that. I've actually that's my answer too.
yeah, just at peace, at peace.
Very
Hopefully when
much
I'm
so.
old, but yeah, at peace.
Okay, the second part of question number 3 is how do you think you'll die?
Probably a car wreck.
Mm.
Because these drivers in Knoxville, they're crazy.
Really?
So I'm sure it'll probably be a 10-pile car wreck or something. Who knows? But that's probably what it'll be.
I think the same because I'm a rideshare driver,
Yeah.
and so I'm driving like all day long. But I'm a great driver, but I'm like an
Yeah.
expert now. But just because you're a good driver doesn't mean that everyone else
Oh,
is, and
yeah.
that's the
Now, I
problem,
will
right?
say I had a tarot read from a lady in New Orleans one time, and
Hmm.
she had told me that I'm basically reincarnated, and I passed away at a very young age of like 13 in my past
Hmm.
life, and she had told me, she said, you drowned, and I said, well, that makes sense, and she said, why does it make sense? And I said, well, I'm terrified of water. And they say whatever you're scared of is probably how you passed away in your past life, and it just connected dots for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
There is a story in that book I was just telling you about. It's called Journey of Souls
Yeah.
by Michael Newton, I believe. And the story goes that this woman had this pain in her chest. It felt like, this weird pain. But when she would go to the doctor, they didn't see anything wrong. Everything was fine. And when she went to Dr. Newton, she would tell him about it. So he took her back to a previous life. Turns out in a previous life, she was a man who was a lawyer
Oh,
in
wow.
in like Oklahoma City or someplace. And she was not a very good, or he was not a very good lawyer apparently because he was running
Oh,
into money
God.
troubles.
Oh,
And he
gosh.
got into a fight in a bar where he got shot at the same place, which she has pain.
Well, connect the dots. That's right
I
there. That's
know
closure right there. Wow.
that,
Wow.
and I think if I'm not mistaken, the pain went away because now she understood.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what. All right. Question number 4, and you may have already answered this. So if you do, there's a second part to it. What's the
Okay.
strangest paranormal experience you ever had, or what's the strangest moment of your life?
Definitely the Bigfoot. Definitely the
Oh,
Bigfoot. The red eyes really, because spirits, they're creepy, they're scary, but they can't physically hurt you.
yeah.
They'll make you hurt yourself because you're scared, but physically, I mean, a Bigfoot encounter, I mean, I was putting my life in risk. I mean, I could have been on missing 411. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, what if some of those did make some of these people disappear?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
a lot of
Yeah.
these people disappear. There's this theory on that. There's like 2 different types of Bigfoot.
Yes.
One is the very aggressive, cannibalistic, angry, ugly. Call it an ugly-looking Bigfoot, and the other one, the Xenu, are a peaceful,
Yeah.
like soulful. They will talk to you telepathy, and they'll if they feel like you're worthy, they'll talk to you. If they feel like you're not, they'll give you a warning to go away
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever, man. So I think that's weird, and that's one of my favorite little theories. Question number 5. What's the scariest or weirdest dream you've ever had?
Oh, well, I would say which I've had a lot of weird dreams, but since moving here and us having some paranormal activity here at this house, it wasn't that long ago. I was dead asleep and I got woke up to to a door slamming, and it was like my downstairs bathroom. It was almost like I was like watching over top my house and I saw the bathroom door slam. And at that
Mhm.
time I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I heard a door slam. And I
Wow.
actually woke my husband up and I was like, the door downstairs just slammed. And then he walked downstairs and it was actually closed.
Ooh.
It was weird. Yeah, it's really weird. It freaked me out. Like my heart was racing. I was sweating. I was like scared to go back to sleep. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it freaked me out.
So you think that wasn't a dream at all, huh? It was actually a
It
door
was almost
sign.
like a sign, like a warning, like,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
Because we hear a lot of like footsteps. I mean, just last night, in the middle of me throwing up, I'm hearing footsteps running down the hallway, and I'm like, okay, I get up and I go downstairs, and I'm like, okay, all my kids are asleep. So what did I hear? I was so irritated last night. I was like, I don't even care. Y'all just do what you do, but I'm going back to bed. But yeah, that dream, it really freaked me out. I mean, yeah.
Wow. That is a
Yeah.
scary one. All right, we come to the last question. Rachel, who the fuck do you think you are?
I don't know. I'm that girl, I guess. I'm that girl. The crazy girl.
Crazy girl. Okay.
The crazy girl. As society would say, you're crazy, girl.
Crazy girl with a husband and 4 kids. How about that?
Yes. Yes.
All
Blessed. Blessed.
Blessed. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for joining me.
Yes.
I really
thank
appreciate
you.
it. This was fun. I loved it. Hello. You still there? Oh, there you are. You disappeared a little too early. All right, guys, that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much. If you find it interesting, then go down the rabbit hole. Bye. Bye, Rachel.
Bye. Thank you.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
They said the truth was buried deep in files they tried to burn. David's on the mic now, it's the people's turn. From shadow men in black to creatures in the mist, he's cracking open secrets that the government dismissed. Spooky lights above us, he's tracking every blink. Aliens, cryptids, yeah, he's making you think. With a journal full of clues and a wild-eyed hunch, he's talking ghost towns, lost time, Bigfoot's lunch. Old Dayvid don't know, but he's looking for the code on a long dark road where the weird ones go. Mics stay hot when the stories unfold, digging through the static for the truth untold. From pyramids on Mars to sounds in the night, he's chasing after whispers just beyond the light. Tinfoil hat, nah, it's a crown for the